less time to do than or if not around the same time as to go through all the festival lineup as the previous one. However, there was one band that I refused to listen to, which is, where is it? This one right here. With the other one, I didn't listen to, I think, three or four artists just because I couldn't stand them. Despite putting myself through Dance Gavin Dance's discography, this time around we only avoided one because really, realistically, I mean, there were some that I was like, I don't know if I should, but regardless, I did listen to all of this. So I have a lot of opinions. Let's get started with Rise Against. Rise Against is one of those bands that I've only heard really a couple songs from, and that being actually no, we need to fix this. We need to add another thing. Can we do that? Yeah, we need to add a row. This row will be um because there's really nothing that I can't. I'm not gonna go F, but I will go E. All right. No, actually, I'm gonna go I. And I'll explain what the I means. All right, so yeah, Rise Against. Rise Against is one of those bands that I heard a couple songs from. I liked all their songs that I have heard from them. When I growing up on Flat Out 2, I listened to uh, the song was Give It All. Give It All is a pretty good song. I don't Swing Life Away is what was like a song that I would have on all the time in high school. It's definitely one of my favorite acoustic tracks. But that being said, um, their sound is very. I did like a lot. I actually was surprised from their early work, like their very first album, I think it was, or EP, that sounded rough. Like it was a good sounding type of rough that um, I didn't really get from other bands that I've heard that are kind of like that try to do the same thing as them. I definitely consider them to be a C tier band in the sense of I like their popular songs or I like their songs that I do like, but a lot of their stuff I will not return back to, and that's the honest truth. Something Corporate is actually kind of okay. So with Something Corporate, I like again kind of heard three songs from them. I liked their three songs. I'm more of a fan of Jack's Mannequin. In fact, I actually can't sit through a Something Corporate album and all the way through. I like with Jack's Mannequin, like their first album, great all the way through, no issues. Uh, with Something Corporate, I'm picking like four tracks out. I'm like, nah, that's not for me. So I'm actually gonna consider them to be a D tier pop punk band. I I already I think it's like they have a song like with Ashes. I think it's like From Ashes or whatever. That's probably my favorite Something Corporate song. And the more I listen to Woke Up in a Car, I actually hate it more. There was one song that I really I forgot what it was. It was like kind of like trashing like a friend or something. Like he like sings about getting beat up or something. I don't remember what that song was. It was a bad song, but I will remember it for the infamy that I've heard from that or that came from that song. Gym Class Heroes. This was a band that I kind of went through like I don't know what you call like a scene phase in like 2021, and I did listen to because I wanted before the 2023 When We Were Young festival. I was gonna make my own festival lineup, and funny enough, these guys were on there with Yellow Card, which ironically, here they are both together. Um, that I when I listened to their music all the way through initially, there were some tracks I was like, I don't know, like they kind of just fell in the background, but then coming back to them, I respected them more. Um, they're a very specific group that I will admit some of their lyrics are kind of cringy, and I'm not a fan of Cupid's Chokehold. Honestly, I consider them to be probably above Rise Against. There are some songs that I do return to, but unless I'm gonna listen to their entire discography again, I probably will not come back to them. I forget what song it was, but it's the one with William Beckett is my favorite. Is it 7 weeks? 7 weeks. 7 weeks is my favorite Gym Class Hero song. Now let's get to Yellow Card. Yellow Card is a band that I really don't understand why people don't how people don't appreciate them more. The more I keep listening to Ocean Avenue, the more I realize that it's not my. It was not. I actually hot take, but I find that Ocean Avenue is one of their weakest albums. Outside of their songs that I cannot go back to, or no, that I can't stop myself from going back to. Ocean Avenue is one of those that I'm tired of hearing it, like for song wise. But I love Only One. I love Breathing. Breathing will always be one of my favorite songs from them because of Flat Out 2, and just how much I just listened to that song um, between Flat Out 2 and just going through high school. Um, I know there's so much more. There's so many more songs off that album that I could name, but I really, I'm not a huge fan of the album. I love the songs that I do come back to, but outside of that, like I am all the way for is it paper? I think it's Paper Walls and Lights and Sound. Lights and Sound is my favorite Yellow Card album. Paper Walls is a close second. I do I really enjoyed their last album, which I think was their self-titled. Um, and that being said, I actually like their very first album. I don't care what anybody says about their first album. I or not the midget throwing one, but the other one, the one with the dragon on it. I love that album. I think that's a very good punk album. The one that came out after that, like the one with them in the classroom, nah, not really for me. But I do like a lot of their albums, and I even if I do return to their discography, yes, while Ocean Avenue may be Empty Apartment, that's the other one. While it may be a little bit of a chore to get through, I don't mind. I don't mind listening to all these songs again. I never get tired of Yellow Card. Yellow Card is a strong A tier band for me. Saves the Day. Now, I'm actually going to be seeing Saves the Day live in November with Census Fail in Montreal, and I really can't wait for this because they're performing through Being Cool. Now, Saves the Day was a band that I didn't fully appreciate in high school. I think it was like Jukebox Hero, um, like a couple of their songs, not really a whole lot. But then we're going through their discography. My favorite two albums, if you didn't listen to my podcast episode, are obviously Through Being Cool and Stay What You Are. Stay What You Are is definitely my favorite Saves the Day album. Through Being Cool, I'm gonna be seeing that live, and I wonder if it's gonna change my like make me love it more. It's a fantastic album from the '90s that I highly recommend that anybody that likes Blink, anybody that likes Green Day, you gotta listen to that album. It's a great album. My favorite song from Saves the Day is easily Rock Tonic Juice Magic, and Freakish off of uh, Say What You Are is also a good song. Obviously, At Your Funeral is another great one. Um, that being said, though, their albums that came out before and after, I'm not a huge fan of. Or Can't Slow Down is it was an album that I couldn't sit through the first listen, but then listening to it again, I actually appreciate it more for some reason. I don't know how that happened. But I am not defending. Um, In Reverie is a very weird album that I actually do respect. The floorboards one, I cannot stand the floorboards one. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the production on it is garbage. It's just not an album that I enjoy at all. Um, I don't. I think it was like Sound the Alarm or something with the one with like the red album cover. Something to do with like an alarm or yeah, that one was like my last favorite Saves the Day album, and then it just got really bad. That being said, for a band, they are a strong A tier for me. Definitely between A and S. Say Anything, a band that I really couldn't stand. Outside of listening to their first album, which was only is it the only a real boy or whatever, or not baseball, but obviously that like their most popular album, that one. I like that album a lot. I wasn't an album guy in high school, but I did like I listened to the songs that I like the most. Um, and I can't say anything. I tend to forget their names. However, listening to their discography, uh, in defense of the genre is my favorite say anything album. Regarding the other albums, I don't really have. I mean, I do have issues with their albums that came out afterwards, but I do like a good number of songs from those albums. I don't like their albums as a whole, but I do think that they're a good B tier band. However, I did listen to so much Say Anything that um, I'm taking a break from them. Michelle Branch. Regarding Michelle Branch, I think it's her. I can't like her early albums. I love. Um, I only know her from like the records and "Lay Me Down" is an amazing song by them. One of my favorite songs. But Michelle Branch as a whole, I like her first two albums. They're very good. Uh, I wouldn't come back to her necessarily. Definitely, I'm gonna go B. MXPX, a band that I really enjoyed what I heard. I think I had like three songs favorited before I checked out their discography. I do like a good number of their songs. Albums, not really. I can't tell you like what the first and third is. I don't know if it's like an underrated track within their discography, but that's probably my favorite MXPX song next to the one that goes, "Can I call you sweetheart?" That, or maybe baby doll. That's another one. And again, with their albums, there were some albums that I did enjoy. I cannot tell you for the life of me like which ones they were. It was like maybe their first, one of their like third or fourth albums. There were no albums that I really like consider to be like really good. I just like their songs. When it comes to punk bands, that's kind of the issue that I have with punk bands. I do like a lot of like I'll like their songs, but their albums you have to like deliver a certain kind of you gotta meet a certain expectations of mine to like really like Alkaline Trio or Menzingers or Captain We're Sinking. um, it's just like MXPX that they're like it's just classic punk like or AFI like it's a lot of their music kind of sounds the same, but they do make some really catchy songs, and catchy is a really good thing when it comes to like when I consider good. We I will continue that bias towards this band here. But yeah, MXPX, solid B tier band. The Academy is A band that I really wish I could love more. I love their first EP. I really wish it was on Spotify. Whenever I go back to it, I always love that EP. Um, their first album is great. I have it the CD for it. Their second album blew my expectations because when I watched the Cozy Representative video, it was kind of making out to be like this classic rock. And then I listened to it, like this is really good. Like I'm really surprised not a lot of bands took that weird approach. Yeah, it cost them in in the long run, but I already forgot the name of it. But that was a good album. And I also have some nostalgia. Well, not even nostalgia bias towards Fast Times at Barrington Time, but I just I I love that album so much. In a way that I know it's not that as good as I want it to be, but I love it. The last Midtown show, phenomenal song. Uh, not story about a girl. Is it story about? No, it's not. The song's not story about a girl. Um, I already forgot the name of the song. Anyways, this band slaps. A tier. Bowling for Soup, a band that okay, this is a good example of don't judge a book by its first couple albums. I like their first two albums, I think, like their '90s albums, and then I got into their first 2000s album, early 2000s albums, and I could not get into them. But then the more I kept listening to their discography, the more I started appreciating their music. Despite them being kind of like a pop punk parody band or a band that's all focused on not being serious, but does it in a better way than Blink 182, really blew my mind on how good some of these songs were. I cannot tell I'm not very good with titles, so I can't tell you like what's my favorite song, but I this is a band that I will for sure return to if I want to listen to some good pop punk. A tier. Green Day. All right, now we're getting the controversial opinions. Green Day. I don't like American Idiot. I like Dookie. My favorite album is Revolution Radio. Um, and yeah, for me, Green Day is a band that kind of really can't do anything wrong. Also, I did like their last album. The last album for me was honestly probably like my third favorite album from them, which is crazy. But yeah, Green Day is a band that really can't do any wrong outside American Idiot. I don't like American Idiot at all, and I will never like American Idiot. Um, despite some of the songs on there, I hate the appreciation for it. I don't like it. The same way I don't like Untitled or self-titled Blink 182 album. That being said, Green Day is a band that I I accept them. I like what I hear from them. I like so many of their songs. I just don't like them as much as I like other pop punk bands. Um, so strong. I'll go. I'll play it safe here and go A tier for them. I would definitely listen to these bands way more than Green Day, but Green Day is a solid band. All right, now we're getting the bias picks. Less than Jake. Regarding ska punk, when I first heard about ska punk and I heard Less Than Jake, I immediately fell in love with this band. There's just something about this band that is so good, and it's not necessarily like the fact that they're a ska band but if you take out their ska elements, they are fucking catchy. Like at some times they sound like friggin' the singer kind of sounds like he hits the melodies like Fall Out Boy, like um Patrick Stump, and a lot of these songs are just so damn good. First S tier band for me. I was not disappointed with their discography. There were some albums that I definitely didn't like as much as others, but amazing band. Finch. This was a band that I used to listen to. Ah, shit. Well, like what it is to burn. What it is to burn. So many times in high school. Eventually, it kind of just I lost the appeal got lost on me. And as much as I really want to accept the way people love their album that came out afterwards, it's kind of I'm this is a band for me that I kind of fell out of love with. As much as I do like some of their catchy songs, they are run of the mill at best. And I was actually really surprised. I was the one thing that really shocks me is that the fact that they had a song on the Underworld soundtrack. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, I do tend to get some of their songs stuck in my head from time to time. I can't really say the same about something corporate. All right, Sum 41. This is the band that I always said I just love this band far more than Blink, and which is now kind of not a. It's not a good comparison because now that I listen to their discography, I can really tell that the one thing that I love about this band is that they wear their influences on their sleeve, and it is amazing on how well they can pull off some of these. Uh, I'm not a fan of their quote unquote like was it their breakout album? I'm not a fan of All Killer No Filler. I do like their first album more than that one. And my favorite album though is definitely between Does This Look Infected and Chuck. I have Does This Look Infected on CD. Chuck is another great album. Screaming Bloody Murder is also another album that I know that kind of gets lumped in with like some people call it considered to be one of the worst albums of all time, and I just don't agree with that whatsoever. They are Canadian. Um, I kind of I was on the fence about wanting to see them. My friend's gonna see them next year. Hopefully, they're gonna have a great time. I'm saving my concert privileges for Joe. Um, Hopefully, he performs in Montreal. All right, now we're getting into a band that I listened to a lot of their songs in high school. I could not remember any of their songs outside of the one song, which is Full Circle. And Full Circle is still to this day and a song that like really just resonates with me, and this band as a whole resonates with me. I also listen to some songs off of their is it the album or EP before I think it was an EP before Feel Something, which was the one with like the kids on like up against the the white fence. This band for me is a strong S tier, and I for people that don't know, like whenever I streamed Killing Floor 2 going through this band's discography, I think I went through Feel Something and then the album that came out afterwards, and I could not continue the stream because this band really makes you feel something. Doesn't matter what song really it is. A song that I it's kind of hard to pick a favorite from these guys. I do like Full Circle. I always listen to Full Circle on repeat. Same thing goes for Daylily, of course. But really, I think I think the song's called Protection. Yeah, Protection. The Protection demo might just be my favorite Movement song. I this just thinking about this band makes me cry. Listening to this band makes me cry. This is a band that will have an emotional impact on you, and I don't even know if it will even if any band will surpass this in S tier. Regarding on biases, like this is a band that changed my perception of the post-hardcore genre, all in the span of a couple albums. And their new album is, despite their new album being like more kind of indie rock dance focusy, they still deliver. Um, there's no duds with that band. All right, Motion City Soundtrack, a band that I listened to uh, a lot in high school regarding commit to this memory. The great album. Let's Get Fucked Up and Die is the first song I heard from them, and then I started hearing stuff off of like I Am the Movie, which might have been Indoor Living, and this is a band that kind of the same as Movements, or it's a band that really can do no wrong. Um, I have I cannot their last album on vinyl. I forgot Panic Stations. I have Panic Stations on vinyl. Phenomenal band. I love the songwriting in this band. I love the guy's voice. I love the lyrics. And Come Into This Memory is a amazing album. It's a staple album that everybody should listen to before they die. Um, and you should listen to it like when you're in high school. You should listen to it when you're an adult. It's an amazing album. Uh, however, though, hot take, but my favorite album is damn it, I already forgot. It's the one with the guy and the girl. Uh, is the album bef oh, shoot. Their 2008 album. Their 2008 album is my favorite album. Yeah, definitely S tier. Water Parks, a band that I originally not I didn't like these guys in high school. Whenever like they were getting popular, but now going through their discography, I really love their music. Their music was very special to me. And when we get to the Rex, I'll explain like I my like I'm not so sure about this band kind of faded away. And when I heard like the Phantom album is amazing album. Definitely a strong yeah uh, yeah, here's good. Strong A tier. Relient K. This was a band that I knew from the start. Like I probably enjoyed their first album, um, and then we'd go from there. Or not their first album, the one with the flower on it. I probably enjoyed that album, and then like probably not enjoy a lot of the others. Um, so they're I did like I already forgot like the one with like the I think it's like a junkyard. That one I give like I liked half that album, and then I liked the full album with the flower. Um, they are definitely B tier for me. I would be my or not be my escape. Be my escape is all right, but I'm sorry who I was back then. Is that what it is? Is that the name of it? I think it's called I'm sorry who I was back then. No, who I am hates who I've been is one of my favorite songs, and I would probably yeah I definitely listen to them over Michelle Branch. All right, Turnover. This was a band that threw me through a loop of emotions. Like I listened to Peripheral Vision a lot through high school, and then listened to their whole discography. I was blown away with how where this band took their sound to even like a point where they were doing some jazz at one point. I do have the Run for Cover anniversary DVD with all the music videos. I got that. That's a couple months back. And yeah, regarding this band, I I give them a lot of credit, man. Like for relaxing music, yeah, like I would probably put them above MXPX. Like they are actually nah, yeah, no, I'll put them above Say Anything because they are really just a vibe that I can definitely get behind. If I need to relax, I'll put on some Turnover. Goldfinger. This is a band I just don't like. I like some of their songs, but I didn't really like any of their albums in full. Superman is probably like the only song that I like can name off the top of my head. Not a huge fan of this band whatsoever. Simple Plan. Despite being Canadian, I have very this band is definitely a guilty pleasure for me. Perfect is probably my favorite song from them, although I do like some of their later songs off of their other albums. Definitely D tier. No, I'll put them on C tier. They're definitely above Finch. I think that's where a good place of putting them. Blink. The more I listen to Blink, the more I don't like Blink. Um, I used to like Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Now I'm kind of leaning more towards, I guess, Dude Ranch. I don't know, man. This band, I'm falling out of love with this band. No matter how many, Damn It is a great song, but a lot of their other stuff, especially their new album, was really just testing my patience. Some of the production off their new album is fucking garbage. Like it was, it was laughably bad in a lot of aspects. Blink Wave is actually a pretty good song though, so I do appreciate their willingness to do some more like experimental stuff. Oh, is my package here? Probably is. But yeah, all in all, they are slowly fading for me. All right, Beach Bunny. This was a band, a, or an artist that I think I had three tracks originally favorited from her, and I really liked them. I really like the sound of it. Her album though always reminds me of like the Dua Lipa album, so I always get those two mixed up. However, that being said, her first EP or first I don't remember if it was an album or EP. It's like a really like basic drawing of like the character in like a swimming pool. That was honestly one of my favorite indie or like pieces of music that I've ever listened to, which was like really like I don't know what it was, but it's like it took me like through a nostalgia uh wave or like a wave of nostalgia, and honestly she deserves far more credit than she gets. Definitely put her above Turnover. Joyce Manor. This is a band that I listened to. I listened to which ones? Where is it? I listened to. Um, is it their self title? Yeah, I listened to their self title and um, Never Hung Over Again so much in high school. I also liked was the album called Cody? I think it was called Cody. That album when that came out, or I think a year after that album came out. I love that one. That one was, and honestly, at the end of the day, like I'm really trying to decide which album I like more. Out of everything I've heard, obviously I think it was like their first album and was all right. Their last album, I don't remember if I liked it as much as the other albums, but uh, I I love them. They're a catchy band. They have some really great songs. I love the singing, and they're definitely one of my favorite quote unquote high school bands. Um, which I would put they're definitely an A tier. Probably yeah, that seems about right. All right, Andrew Jackson Jihadi. I think I've heard like about three songs from him, and I think it was one of their live versions is one of my favorite live performances ever. My favorite song by them is definitely the Guilt song, and really like when it comes to folk punk, there's not a lot of bad folk punk for like that. You can't really go wrong with folk punk. I definitely like probably almost every song that he made. I don't think there were any albums that I really like disliked or didn't like. Yeah, or just didn't like in general. They're definitely an A tier artist, and I probably put honestly that looks like a good spot. Citizen. This was a band that I really couldn't get into in high school, but now that I finally fully checked out their discography, they're up there with Movements in my opinion. It is amazing on how drastic their sound changed and how amazing their music they like how they improved their sound is just it blows my mind. I can't tell you what my favorite song is because I always forget the name of it. It's off of the album that it's the off of the album that I believe is after the one with Jet. Because there's this one segment that it sounds like a brand new song. And there's like a one segment where they do like just they have like background vocals and it's very like authentic and it just they it does it's so well, but like the rest of the song is more like slow and mellow. But I also like their dance indie stuff too. Like this is a S tier band for me, and I would probably put them. Yeah, probably here. But I really like their stuff. I'm so glad I waited on that band because the band changed my mind. And I also because I have that Run for Cover DVD, they had two songs on there, which oh my god, I forget which one it is like how yeah the How Does It Feel that hits me, and then the other one was like there's Sunday is in the title of it, and that song like just that music video and song just broke me. Um, yeah, uh, amazing band. Veronica's. I had no idea what this was, but when I saw their like designs or their like album covers, it reminded me a lot of like Cobra Starship. And thankfully, I was um optimistic about their first releases, and then it kind of just got then it kind of just transferred it or transformed into like generic pop music that was like done way better by Tegan and Sarah. But honestly, I liked what I heard from them. I'd put them probably above Gym Class Heroes. Um, would I? Nah, they're more above like Michelle Branch actually. Okay, Newfound Glory. A band that I really thought was gonna get tiring the more I kept like the more every album that I'd go through, just because his voice is kind of gets a little bit irritating. I completely understand why people call these guys like some of the kings of pop punk. Their catchy songs are real. Their songs are like really catchy. They there were some out. There was I think maybe one or two albums that I was like but everything else before was like amazing. Sticks and Stones is great. Catalyst is probably my favorite album from them. Actually, no, the one with like the guy with the briefcase. That's my probably my favorite album. And then Catalyst, Sticks and Stones. One of my favorite songs is actually off of the. I think I I forgot what it was. Uh, yeah, I forgot the name of it. But the I think the album was like 2011 or 2013. There was like it's like white with like a like rate. I think it had like radio in the title. Anyways, but Newfound Glory. They're gonna be A tier for me. I'm gonna probably put them. Yeah, put them here. Front bottoms. Band that I listened to a lot in high school. Um, I was very pleasant to find out that a lot of their music that a lot of people originally didn't like whenever it released, I enjoyed. So realistically speaking, they do have like probably one bad album, but I could still like enjoy songs off that album. The Gray Days one or whatever, that album, which was originally considered like a disappointment or maybe even bad by most fans, I really like that one. Um, Solid indie rock band, definitely, but like they're kind of like a yeah, I'll listen to for high school nostalgia. But like, let's be honest, whenever Twin Size Mattress comes on, like I cannot help but sing to it. Definitely, I also liked them before they became popular. Um, I definitely, and the same thing goes for like Peripheral Vision too, or Turnover. Um, yeah, some of these bands, even Hot Mulligan, like a lot of these bands I got into before they were popular. Front Bottoms, yes, probably. No, they're more A tier. Yeah, that sounds about right. The Rex. All right, so the Rex. A band that off my that their first album was garbage. Their EP or singles that they had before they're like punkish, pretty decent. But then like their album that came out after that just like completely shifted all my expectations. I really like this band, especially that one album. I think it came out in 2022. Amazing album. Um, a lot of songs I go back to, and I can't for the life of me remember their names. But yeah, great band. Definitely a B tier, and probably put them above Reliant K. Tiger's Jaw, a band that I listened to their yeah, I guess their self-titled so much in high school, and it will always be an iconic album to me. It's an amazing album. It's one of my favorite albums, and them as a whole is just they're an amazing group. I'd love to see them live. Definitely S tier. Probably put yeah, they hit me in the feels next to Citizen. Hot Mulligan. So again, with this band, the other thing too to say about Tiger Shot is that their first album, that I think was released in like 2007 or 2006, before their 2008 release, that's like so rough around the edges. There's something so satisfying about their like rough versions of their tracks. Yes, there are some tracks that I literally cannot understand the lyrics and I cannot sit through, but there's some that I just actually don't mind. Like the other version of the Sun is actually not that bad for me, and it's hard to explain. Regarding Hot Mulligan, I heard my favorite album of theirs at the time was so you'll be fine. And that was the year that it came. I believe it was it was the year it came out. I heard it. Amazing album. And then I also watched like Nate Bates video on it, and they kind of he like explained like here's the importance of this band. Like this band's gonna blow up, and they did. Um, their pilot album is I don't understand why like regarding all their albums, it's hard to put them in like specific orders. I there's not an album that I don't like, but I do like all pretty much all of their songs. My favorite song of them might be How Do You Know It's Not Armadillo Shells or Fell in Love with Princess Peach. Oh, also like the OG Blue Sky. Like, oh man, there's just so many songs I can name off the top of my head. Uh, Never really get tired of them. Austere. 30 Seconds to Mars, garbage. Lit. Another band that kind of exceeded my expectations. While I just thought they were like a normal pop punk band that was just gonna stay pop punk, this band went friggin' country and indie rock and then literally pop. It's the amount of stuff that this band did. it was wild, and it's honestly kind of shocking to say that I didn't like their breakout album, and I actually liked their country album more. It's While I the first song I actually heard from them was not My Own Worst Enemy. It was Miserable, which I still love. But their country album is actually not like it's so good. It's not so bad. It's good. Like I really like their country album. Definitely a B tier, and I probably put them above. Say anything. I also like their My Own Worst Anti-Hero. That's another. Uh, Even I don't think it wasn't made by them, but it's still something that I still enjoy. Zebrahead. Regarding pop punk bands, this was a band that always stood out to me for like why don't people talk about this band more? This band shtick is kind of like they're like Offsprings meets Rage Against the Machine, and I kind of know why now. But also at the same time, like Blink kind of just did the same thing over and over again. Yeah, they tried to reinvent their sound, but like at the end of the day, actually no, that's not fair. Um, I don't know. I just love this band so much. I love their song. I love a lot of their songs, albums, and like it's kind of up in the air. It's just I like a majority of their songs. My favorite song from them might be "Call Back" or "Call Your Friends." Yeah, definitely "Call Your Friends." Uh, this is a band that I have their entire discography like saved it like playlist saved because I won't listen to their albums. I'll just go back and listen. I'll just go and listen to like all of their songs, and they have a lot of their songs. I am not a fan of their last album though. I will say that. Amazing band, and also their cover of Survivor and London Bridges is just like they're a fun band. I would love to see these guys live. That being said, oh, there put them in A. Definitely put them in an S. I think I might enjoy them more than Hot Mulligan. Set it off. A band that ever since I heard one of their songs, which as if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, I think there was one of their songs was featured on the animated Grinch soundtrack. Um, if not, it was a song that sounded like it would be on. I think it was featured on the Grinch soundtrack. Um, these guys sounded like if like All Time Low were meets Ice Nine Kills, which is not a fair description because but at the end of the day, um, I'm gonna tell you right now. So if you look, yeah, this one, you go into this album, one of the best starters in any album that I've almost ever heard is this song. Breathe In, Breathe Out is an amazing song that I've never heard. Like it captivated me in a way that like I understand like what they were trying to do. You know, like they were embracing like My Chemical Romance, Black Parade, and stuff like that, or like the Funeral Portrait. But real like oh my god, that song fucking like slaps on it. Like I had it saved originally, and I don't remember ever hearing it. I don't remember hearing it, but when I heard that again, I was like, oh my god, like this is an amazing song. Like this is like a 10 out of 10 song that I would never expect from like this band. I unironically like their 2009 album. 2009, I think it was yeah, 2009 album. Their 2008 album's garbage, but their 2009 album's actually like it's a good rough pop punk album. But this is a band that I love their songs. I don't love their albums. Their that the album before their last album sucked ass, but the one thing I really appreciate with this band is how much they're willing to like experiment and go like in a like a funk direction. Like these guys sometimes sound like Maroon. Like how do you go from like All Time Low to like Maroon 5 to like My Chemical Romance? Like an amazing band that I would love to see live, especially with Seeing Queen. Um, Definitely gonna go A tier and probably put yeah, because they're a party band, or they're a fun band. I do like Joyce Manor, but like Set It Off is just really fun. No pressure. Coming from someone that's not a huge fan of the story so far, despite I mean I like story so far songs, but I don't really like their albums entirely, and I'd rather like have their songs on shuffle, and I just don't listen to them often. No Pressure is a breath of fresh air. Definitely an A tier band. They deliver solid pop punk, and really there's no bad song from them so far. Definitely gonna put because their songs are yeah, because their songs are short. I'm gonna put them above Green Day. Ecstasy. All right, now we're getting into like some. I I don't mean to sound rude, but Ecstasy to me sounds like pretentious sad boy music. That's the best way to describe them. Despite liking pretty much almost all of their his songs, uh, it's just so pretentious. Like it just sounds like it's like yeah, I'm trying to be the Cure, but I'm also a sad boy. And then you have like a little in like some of the lyrics are just oh, but I'm so happy is a great song. I just want to hide my face is a great song. Um, I almost feel like embarrassed by listening to him, but I also really respect his music. Definitely going B tier. The Movie Life. This was a band for me that kind of like again once again exceed my expectations. 40 Hour Train Back to Penn was an album that I listened to a lot in high school and I really liked. I also liked his other project, which is I'm the Avalanche. Kelly's song is might be my favorite song. Really, like the first half of that album is absolutely stellar, like emo punk music. Um, also their first album is also really great. First album's really great. I do not like their EP. Movie Life Has a Gambling Problem. Their last album was fucking amazing. Really, just a stellar A tier band, and I definitely would probably put them above. Regarding their catchiness and everything, I probably put them above Bowling for Soup. I love that band. Um, I can't. Oh wait, yeah. Oh shoot. It's like I think like New Year was in the title. Like the guitar riff in like on one of the songs. I think like New Year was in the title, or Weekend or Week was in the title of like their '90s album. But there's a guitar riff that like goes really hard and like it made one of their best songs. Knucklepuck. This was a band that I liked. I heard one of their songs and I only liked that one song for a long period of time in high school, and I didn't want to listen to any of them because I found them annoying. But holy shit, Copacetic is yeah, I understand why Copacetic is a masterpiece in some eyes, but I also really like their last album. Their last album for me is actually my favorite album from them. Um, while I didn't, this is a band that I'm glad that I waited to listen to because despite having that like angst from like high school, I still I enjoy it more as like as a growing adult or a young adult. Definitely an A tier band, a high A tier band. Probably put them above. I mean, yeah, their last album kind of just destroys Yellow Card. For actually, no, I'm gonna put them above New Found Glory. Actually, yeah, these two are really tight though. Kenny Hoopla. Um, I Estella is one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm glad I waited on this guy. This guy's music is incredible, and I respect him so much more than Ecstasy. He the way that he combines like pop punk, indie rock, Block Party, basically almost all versions of Block Party, like the atmospheric side of Block Party, and the dance punk version of Block Party, and then he has like screaming like from post hardcore stuff, like I don't know, like I'm gonna say a band like Trash Fashion. Like I respect this guy's music. Dirty White Vans is an amazing, and even like Dirty White Vans. Dirty White Vans is like it's essentially like an emo rap song, but it's a banger song. Every time Stella comes on, like I just want to drive fast. Or every time Dirty White Vans comes on, I want to like start a mosh pit. Definitely, I'm gonna probably put him above Knuckle Puck. Games we play. This was a band that I was almost ready to write off as like a TikTok band, and we will get to the TikTok band, but like it's amazing on how like this band was able like I thought they're like yeah like typical like pop punk, we're gonna bring pop punk band like Machine Gun Kelly like started like waves of like TikTok artists, TikTok bands. um but there was more to it than that. Like these guys will actually have like some like the way they were able to like really do like these nostalgia based like songs, like a lit song for example. Like they basically made a song sound like a lit song, and they really did a great job at like shifting my expectations in that matter. Also, like a song like I think it was like Naked. There's Naked, and then there's the other song that's basically where the guy's like very like critical about his weight, and I actually really admire that. They're definitely a B tier band. I put definitely above Simple Plan. Now we get into a band that I have a love hate relationship, mostly loathe relationship with, which is Magnolia Park. Sick of It All is a great song, but this band for me has an image problem. Now, while let's okay, so first off, I actually like their early material is great. And in fact, their 2021 or 2020 mixtape, the one with Sick of It All, is a fantastic mixtape. Um, but then there's the mixtape afterwards, which kind of got me thinking, is this band supposed to be like doing this joke bit, or do they genuinely want to be taken seriously? Because this band does not have a really original idea in their body. Like they're often like sometimes will sound like Nothing Nowhere, sometimes will sound like Little Lotus, sometimes will sound like generic metalcore bands, sometimes will sound like at one point they were literally taking um they were taking lyrics from Nothing Nowhere, or no, sorry, The Void. The Void is a song that sounds like, I feel like, oh, we weren't featured on Void Eternal, so now we're gonna do our own like Void Eternal song. Like I don't, it's hard to tell if they're trying to be like Sum 41 borrowing from other artists and bands, or if they're genuinely or if the dude is like delusional and genuinely thinks like he's trying to make provoking music. A lot of the songs that I enjoy from this band come from with features, and that would be shit. I already forgot which one it was. I think it was off of their last like mixtape. Um, that was really good. It's probably my favorite Magnolia Park song. And these guys do have like some good original ideas, but it tends to get overshadowed by their quote unquote influence. They are they're going an eye for irritating, and they're gonna be um wait is irritating start with an I, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're going an eye for irritating. That's why I created an eye. All right. Um, and I do respect a lot of there's some of their music, but it's just they're such an irritating band because they're so good at making great songs, but then they tend to waste that uh influence ideas. All right, here we go. Offspring. This was a band that I had a feeling that I was going to actually like them more than Green Day, and I wasn't wrong. Despite Green Day having still more, like the worst Green Day songs are better than are worse than the worst Offspring songs. The worst Offspring songs can sound like boring or uninspired, or no, they're not even boring. They're just uninspired. The worst Green Day songs are just not like hard to listen to, or if not like just unlistenable. Um, Favorite song from the Offspring is Self Esteem. Favorite album is the one with shoot, I already forgot which one. I think it's like the one with You're Gonna Go Far Kid. And I also really don't understand the hate towards Bad Times Roll. Let the Bad Times Roll is a great album for in my understanding. Um, Definitely, yes. We're gonna go in A tier, and I think it's appropriate to put them probably after Bowling for Soup. All right, Gene Dawson. Now, this is one of my favorite artists. You can consider him a rapper, but I like to call him like just a diverse artist in general, like Nothing Nowhere. Um, and there's not really a bad song from this guy at all. Like his albums are stellar, his music is stellar, his music videos are stellar, his personality is stellar. I actually want to get some merch from him. Um, I can't tell you my favorite songs from him because there's too many. I like '90s green screen. I like porn acting. Uh, Sick of It, obviously. His new EP was really good. Some very thought provoking music. Um, my favorite album from him is definitely Pixel Bath, though. Yeah, strong S tier artist. Yeah, yeah, I'll put him there. All right, Phoenix TX. This is a band that has. It's kind of like Set It Off. Actually, like, they have some really good songs that I really enjoy, but their discography is cut so short. Especially now, it sucks with their like passing of their original vocalist. Um, I do like their '90s album, and I think my favorite song from them is Threesome. There's also this like there's a song with like sad in the title. Um, but yeah, real the it's really a shame that this band could be more than what they were. Definitely putting them in A tier. Plain White Tees, irritating band. Outside of Hate, and I like a couple of songs off of I think their first album. They are a very irritating band. The Ataris. This is a band that, while I do like some of their song, I do like a good number of their songs. Some of their lyrics are just gross, especially off of their second album, I think. Um, my favorite one is like my favorite song from them is like something football rules. Yeah, something football rules. Um, but yeah, this is a band that's kind of like they're definitely they're a B for me. I'd probably put them above. Yeah, next MXPX sounds about right. All right, Good Charlotte, a band that I originally didn't like, and then I came around and loved them. Amazing band, amazing songs. They're like a better Simple Plan. I don't know if that's like an insult, but they're just a way better Simple Plan. Um, considering that, where do I have Simple Plan? Oh yeah, Simple Plan is a C tier. They're definitely A tier band. I do like a lot of their music, but I don't like them like a lot. Probably put them maybe next to Green Day. That sounds about right. 5 Seconds of Summer. Uh, this is a good pop group. Honestly, I was really surprised to find out that they had like literally like pop punk and like even an easy chord track with like a breakdown in their early career, which was like mind blowing. They're a solid B tier. I'll put them next to Michelle Branch. All time low. Oh yeah, I forgot that was the other band that I skipped. So we're gonna put them as I. Pierce Vale, I, and Thrice. Thrice. Okay, so Thrice is a band that I know I've mentioned this before. Like I like some of their albums, but then I hate the rest. I like their first three albums. I do not understand the hype over Vishnu, and I don't understand their hype over any of their other albums after Ours Becomes the Ambulance. I I cannot get into their music outside after Ours in the Ambulance. I love but I love their first albums. Deadbolt is an amazing song. Always put that on for like working out, and I wish there were more bands that sounded like Thrice, like the old Thrice. And I know there is, but like I just wish that there were more bands nowadays that would like try to like imitate old Thrice than like any other like post-hardcore. Like, what are they considered a hardcore band originally? I don't know, but I love their Illusion of Safety is an amazing album. Ours Becomes the Ambulance is a little bit kind of generic, but also Ours in the Ambulance is a song that I hold very dear for personal reasons. And yeah, like really, you just can't go wrong with their first three albums. They're fucking stellar. That being said, they're probably going to be, yeah, there. All right, this is my ranking. Um, you will probably hate it. I'll probably just title this video even more controversial than the last. But yeah, this is my ranking.